Should I keep that? Do we need to be filming or no?
No. You're live right now.
Alright.
So we have Rocky.
Hello.
We good?
Yeah, you're live.
What's going on, Cinepals? I am Andrew Flash Gordon, and I am joined by my co-host, Courtney Scott Wright.
Hello.
And we are here to do a spoiler talk for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We hope you have seen it by now. If for some reason you haven't, or you just don't care, we are going to be, as I mentioned, going over spoilers. So there's your warning. I rewatched the movie actually last night, and I loved it so much the first time, but I might have enjoyed it even more the second time. It might be my favorite in the trilogy of Guardians of the Galaxy films.
Yeah?
Yeah, the first one is such a high staple of the MCU for me,
exactly.
but
Yeah, I was gonna say.
the third one, it's really an impactful film for me. I still love the second one, aside from one issue, which I will elaborate on a little later. But I think it's one of the best trilogies, if not, you can make an argument, the best trilogy in the MCU. So, but let us know in the chat, what did you guys think of the movie? And Courtney, let's start going into a little spoiler talk.
Okay.
What do you want to start with?
The chat is agreeing with you. In terms of the trilogy in the MCU, I definitely think that it is the best because it's the only one that has a consistent director that's exactly the same and has the uniform vision and voice for the film and the characters. So, I definitely agree.
I actually spoke with a friend of mine who works at Disney, and I said to him when I saw him at the gym the other day, I said, I think you guys are losing quite someone you don't want to lose in terms of James Gunn at Disney, because the DCU, of course, has grabbed him at WB, of course. But I think what James Gunn has done with this trilogy is so fantastic. These characters that are so obscure to so many of us who didn't read the comics.
Yeah.
And, even if you read the comics, I know there are some diehards for Guardians of the Galaxy, but I just think what James Gunn was able to do with these characters and to the trilogy he was able to make, like you said, it was very consistent in its tone, its comedy, its drama, just the investment we had in these characters, its music, of course. The music is always amazing. By the way, re-watching it last night, I absolutely loved the music we got. By the way, I'm going to talk about the composer as well in a second. But I love the music we got.
You brought that up last time.
Yeah, I did.
And
To be fair too, I was listening really quick. I was listening to John Murphy's score. There's a particular track that's my favorite. It's the High Evolutionary. It's where he blasts everyone when they were being insubordinate, and then they were doing a mutiny, basically, when they're like, "We're not listening. You're insane. You're obsessed with Rocket." And now they probably were like, "We're gonna take over the ship," and then he just has that wave of energy. And then, we hear that operatic music from John Murphy. It's one of my favorite parts of the entire score. Sorry, what were you going to say?
What was I going to say? I don't even know. Oh, you were talking about the music. You brought up the music because you said the original composer was different than this composer for Guardians 3 was different than the first two, right?
Correct. That was Tyler Bates in the first two.
Right.
This is John Murphy.
Right. But I thought it was on par with the first two. And I know that there was someone in the chat who said that they thought that the soundtrack was the best of all three. Let me just see if I can. I want to
Now, I want that person. Who is that? Who said this was the best, though? That was Nats.
Yes.
Chinsa?
Nachintisa.
Nachintisa.
Hopefully I said that right.
Sorry if I said it wrong. I apologize. But no, and I'm just curious. When you say the best soundtrack, I'm assuming you mean actual songs with lyrics in it. I don't know if you mean composition music with that John Murphy and Tyler Bates. So definitely let us know in the comments if you're hearing this, if you're still here.
Can you guys hear me better now? Turn the music down a little bit because I know some people said my voice was low. So just let me know. Yeah. I'll try and get closer.
Yeah, and by the way, too, one of my favorite staples of this film, I thought most of the characters just got really nice arcs just from a writer's perspective and just character-wise. I really love Rocket's backstory. Courtney alluded to that in our non-spoiler, and again, just rewatching it too, knowing already what happens. it just adds so much more depth to the first two films, because you got the first film, you're seeing all the wiring, when Peter Quill's looking at him when they're in that prison after they're imprisoned from the Nova Corps. And then in the second movie, Rocket is basically on some kind of a mission of, hey, every time I get close to people, it never works out, so I'm just going to be this jerk and push everyone away because that's all I know to do. And, I can't really... Just again, you understand the depth that this film adds to with his backstory. You can understand why he's behaving that way in the second movie, and then also too, now when Peter gives him that look in the first movie, you know his backstory now.
Right, and I think like I said, like in the non-spoiler, I was waiting for this because at Comic-Con I got a chance to see some really good clips of this movie that we all got a chance to watch. So I thought what they did with his story was amazing. And also, it in the story, when you saw little baby Rocket, like picking up little pieces and putting them in his pocket, and because that's something that he did in the first movie. You know how he picked that eye and then saved it for Endgame.
Vormir's eye. Yeah.
I can't even.
Vorkman's eye, I mean.
But like it's something that that he gave to Thor, and that's something that James Gunn is really great at, is bringing back these little things that happen in earlier films and showing you like the history of them. And that's how Rocket made the key card, because that's something that he would do, is pick up these little pieces and use them to create something.
Yeah, well, it also too, it just goes to his intelligence. I mean, I knew he was a smart character in the first two, but to actually see him speaking with the High Evolutionary, their interactions, and then coming up with the idea because obviously, we saw the High Evolutionary wants to create this perfect world, so he's using these creatures to make them big, and then they're having violent tendencies, and Rocket comes up with the idea, and how, I forgot the mishmash of what he says, but basically he comes with the idea of how to get rid of them being violent all the time. And I just love the fleshing out of Rocket, seeing why he's so intelligent, and also just adds to the depth of why he's such a good pilot in the first two films as well, because of how intelligent he is. So it makes sense.
Yeah, and Arjun Santu, hopefully I said that right, said he loved the High Evolutionary.
Oh, I thought, we talked about this in our non-spoiler review. And by the way, Arjun, I agree with you. I love the High Evolutionary as well. And again, everyone is totally entitled to their opinion. I am not saying if you have an opinion that differs from mine, I'm going to castrate you, but you really should agree with me. But I'm just
being violent.
I'm being sarcastic. No, but seriously, I heard someone at the screening we went to last week, they said that they thought the High Evolutionary was a joke and they were laughing at all his dialogue. And again, that's no, listen, that it's his subjective opinion. In my head, I was like, wow, I'm curious. I just wonder, like, specifically what his issues were, because I thought the actor was giving such a really menacing presence, and I could understand his motivations. I didn't agree with them, but I understood where he was coming from, and again, I just bought that actor's performance. He was fantastic.
I mean, okay, I love him in Peacemaker. Which, have you seen it yet?
I have not.
Okay. So I love him in Peacemaker, but I will agree there was an over-the-top element to his performance a little bit, but I thought it worked for the character. So I think that's what he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be this grandiose, larger-than-life character. And I just, part of me, sometimes he was a little bit much, but I think he was supposed to be that way.
Yeah, no, for sure. Chris Pratt looks the best in this movie. That's Chintissa. Again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. My apologies. Chris Pratt looked really good in this film. I did notice in this film, and I'm sure many of you noticed as well, he didn't put his iconic helmet on the entire time.
He spent a lot of time at the beginning part of the movie. He was very upset about the loss of Gamora. Yeah. So I will admit that I completely forgot about that until you just said it. So I guess I didn't miss it.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that because of the scene in space at the end, but that's why I was thinking about it.
Oh, you know what? That is a great point. I completely forgot about that. But there was someone, the Fall of the 11th, is that what it was? Who wanted to know about our thoughts on the new Guardians lineup.
I mean, I would still love to see another Guardians film, although I don't know how I feel about them doing it without James Gunn. Obviously, if they make it, I'll still see it. But I found the new Guardians lineup to be fascinating. And do I like it more than the old one? Obviously, I got to see them in action. But freshly, of course, the answer is no. But in terms of just how I feel about them, I mean, there's some interesting characters for sure. You got Cosmo, who I thought had actually was fantastic in the movie, and the actress who voiced her, by the way, was Borat's daughter in the second Borat film. Tutar was her name, Maria Bakalova, I think. She was fantastic as Cosmo. So you had Cosmo, you had Rocket as the captain. So I'm of course I'm interested in seeing Rocket as the leader, because he's always wanted to be a leader. He always has this, he's always got a competition between him and Star-Lord and Quill, where, hey, I'm the leader, no, I'm the leader. So it's nice to actually see him get his due in terms of leader. He earned that, I felt like, in this film.
So here's my one question, though. Going back to Cosmo. Who remembers? Because I didn't rewatch the first time that we saw Cosmo in the end credit scene. I think it was in Infinity War. Was it Infinity War?
First Guardians film.
It was the first Guardians film. Was Cosmo a male dog?
He didn't speak, so
he
just licked the Collector's face in the end credit scene, but he didn't. And then Howard the Duck said, "Why you let him lick you like that?" or something like that.
Great, thank you for clearing that up for me, because I was thinking about that and then I forgot to rewatch it.
Yeah, and then you had Adam Warlock is on the team. You know what? I really liked the performance, by the way. Was it Will Poulter? Is that his name?
Yes.
Who did Adam Warlock? I thought he gave a really nice performance. One thing, and again, I love that he saved Star-Lord in the end. Again, great scene. But one thing, watching it the second time, because I did feel this the first time, so I was curious. And again, if you guys disagree, totally cool. But I didn't feel like the way he had his arc. Again, it was about second chance. And, after Groot saved him, like, why'd you save me? I was trying to kill you. That was fine. I still thought it was good. But I would have thought, too, like, he would have started helping the Guardians as well right after his mother, Aisha of the Sovereign, was killed. And now he's got a vendetta against the High Evolutionary. Now he's going to, basically help the Guardians there. That was just my personal thought. Like, wait, why is he still fighting the Guardians? They didn't kill Aisha. The High Evolutionary did. And he also tortured him earlier in the movie.
Right, but I think he was just trying to carry on the mission that he was given. And it wasn't until, like, they left him behind that he changed course, because the Guardians saved him. He didn't understand why, because no one had ever done that.
No. That's a great argument, and I'm not saying I disagree. My only thing is the way I was perceiving him in the film, and maybe it's my fault, I shouldn't have perceived it this way, was going the Terminator 2 route of him just like learning and maybe even kind of becoming more human, if you will, and just from the fact, hey, this is my mother and she was killed. I don't care about the mission anymore. I'm gonna avenge, if you will, no pun intended, my mother, and I'm gonna help the Guardians in that way.
Tony Venzovsky, hopefully I said that right. Please forgive me. He's seen it twice and thought that Adam Warlock almost was pointless, though. Felt very underused.
I mean, I can understand that comment for sure. Like I said, I didn't like his. I think he was. He was
underused.
definitely a little bit, but like I said, I would have personally. I'm not a writer. I think James Gunn is 50 million times more talented than I am. But
you have an opinion.
Yeah, but in my opinion, I think, like I said, that character arc would have been more useful. And then maybe to your point on your comment where you felt he was useless, we could have got a little more use of him, like just really helping the Guardians in that scene.
They said underused, and I think he could have been used a little bit more.
Well, yeah, I just mean in that way, like, again, he's avenging his mother, Aisha, from being killed, being on the planet, and now he's got a vendetta against the High Evolutionary, not only for torturing him earlier in the film, but now his mother, who he loves so much, that's his whole universe, has just been basically, deleted off the planet, or out of life, so...
To be clear, he wants to be clear. He wanted more of Warlock.
Oh, I agree. I would have loved more. Warlock. I would have loved more of him too. Absolutely.
Abhishek Kandi was really sad for Adam when his mother died, and I agree with that, because they only had each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, like I said, I mean, the way I was perceiving him as even though he's a machine, he was coming off to me as having human relatabilities, and I was getting that, and I really liked the relationship and the bond between those two. And
quick question.
Yeah.
Chat, help me out, because I'm not as familiar with Adam Warlock from the comics. Was he a machine?
Yeah, let us know in the comments, because
I don't really know. I know that he was very integral in the comic book version of the Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
But I don't I don't really know much about him.
Yeah, and then Fall of the 11th said, I feel like they brushed over his reaction to his mother dying. Plus, it was kind of a shame they didn't give Will Poulter more stuff to do. Good point, and I felt that way too. Like when his mother died, I mean, I felt the sadness in him, but I wanted it to carry on a little more. And then we get that whole arc of, hey, I'm changing over to helping out the Guardians. I'm gonna fight this high evolutionary who just killed my mother. I wanted to see that pain on him. I wanted to see him like that's why he's really changing. And again, the whole second chance thing and Groot saving him, that still works for me, but I think this would have been a little more powerful for that character, personally.
Let's see. I never answered the question about the villains, or not the villains, the new Guardians. Team. I'm curious. I want to see where they go. I don't know if I would want necessarily a whole movie with them without the rest of the team.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm open. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy. I do think that this is one of the top top Marvel trilogies. You know what I mean? Because I know someone said in here that they liked Civil War, the Captain America trilogy, and I do agree with that.
I love I mean, again, I didn't say this definitively is the best trilogy in the MCU. I said it's one of the best trilogies, and you can make an argument it is, but Captain America is absolutely right there. It's probably Captain America. I mean, my favorite MCU film is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So, and Civil War is one of my favorite MCU films, and I think the first Avenger is very underrated in my opinion. I'm sorry.
That's the only reason I can't say that it is the top of my trilogy.
I love that film.
I really did not like the first Avenger.
I love that film.
I did rewatch it, and I did have I had stronger feelings about it, given that I knew where Captain America's story went to, and I knew who he became to the Avengers team. But when I initially saw it, I was like, okay, I might have somewhere to be.
Yeah.
But that's just me. But getting back to Guardians, Jimmy Barres said that Adam Warlock was genetically engineered.
That's right. They did mention that line for sure, and I assume probably.
And he also said he'd be down for a Marvel short series for the new team, I'd like that too.
That'd be great. Absolutely. I mean, if you can't, obviously, you're not going to get James Gunn back. He's completely sealed on DC now for a very long time. So. I mean, but you do. I wouldn't imagine because his brother's involved, Sean Gunn, who's plays Kraglin. I would imagine because Kraglin, or his brother, is involved, that he'd at least have a producer role. Even out of respect for him as well, they would do that, and also too maybe they'd get some points like, hey, we want to make sure it's beefed up. Do you really quickly in your beyond busy schedule want to help us a little bit? But but who knows? We'll see. That would be good an idea though.
I totally agree. Let's see. Kaiji Cinema. There's so many great lines. They're saying there's so many great lines in this film. This was your story. You just didn't know it yet. That was one of the best lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's go back to the film and let's talk about what was your favorite scene?
Ooh, good question.
And tell me your favorite scene in the chats.
Yeah, definitely let us know some of your favorite scenes in.
You
know what?
The Fall of the 11th. You weren't born to be a destroyer. You were born to be a dad.
That was a great line.
That was a great line.
That was, I believe that was Nebula to Drax.
Yeah.
No, that was. I love that line too.
I thought Nebula had the best arc in this film. Because like from everything we've known about her and where she's come from, it was such a powerful thing to see her then become the captain, and like in essence, I guess Rocket became the captain, but she took over the city,
Nowhere.
was the mayor of Nowhere essentially.
Yeah. So you asked me what my favorite scene is. I'm not going to say what the best scene, but I'm going to tell you what my favorite scene. It has to be that hallway scene where it's the one-shot tracking where they're fighting off all of the High Evolutionaries forces. I had to. I could not get over that scene. It is one of the coolest shot scenes in the MCU, and I'm a sucker for tracking shots, and when you can stay that long, I mean, that was a good couple minutes of action, and seeing all them, and again, watching them work together, using each of their strengths to, fight this menacing group of the High Evolutionaries forces. I just thought it was such a cool scene. In terms of the best scene, I don't know, like there were so many good ones I could go with. I'd also say another one of my favorite scenes was the first F-bomb we got in the MCU with Chris Pratt with Star-Lord.
Yeah, and
Get in the effing car!
Yeah.
I love that line delivery. I would say maybe Rocket, where he decides like he's no longer running from the High Evolutionary, and he's gonna because that was a big theme in this film about facing your destiny and not running from your fears and stuff. I mean, even Kraglin had to, we got that amazing scene where we got very few seconds of Michael Rooker's Yondu back for like that, just giving him that inspiration of, hey, I use my heart, not my head, I use my heart, boy, which was again the same line he used with Peter Quill in the second movie when he was fighting Ego. So it was appropriate to get that reference and that line and the character back just for a quick moment for Kraglin, because he's such a big staple in Kraglin's life. So I thought that was so appropriate to get him back for that moment.
Yeah, there was, for me, as somebody else said, the scene where Peter got really upset when Rocket flatlined. When Peter cried because Rocket flatlined and he thought he was going to die. That was a really powerful scene. And I think for me, it was Nebula. Going back to what I said about Nebula, she had such a great moment in terms of like her connection to Rocket, because like it was just her and Rocket for those 5 years. They were the only Guardians, and she wasn't even technically a Guardian, like she really just kind of became that because it was just her.
Yeah. And then
she was so committed to bringing Rocket, like to saving Rocket.
I also loved all those other animals that interact.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Lila, Teefs, and Floor.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the relation.
I love
and
them.
again, that also explains in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 why he's so afraid to be with other people. And like in that line too in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 where Gamora was going to go out to save Peter Quill, and Rocket said, I can only afford to lose one friend. Now you know the pain that Rocket has gone through, not only physically and mentally of just becoming this, all the cybernetics around him that the High Evolutionary did to him, but the friends he's lost before. It holds so much more weight when you hear that line in the second film now.
Jimmy Barres also said that scene with Rocket in heaven talking to
with Lila and then Teefs and Floor. By the way,
Drax doing robot noises but thinking it was monkey noises.
Oh, by the way, I caught a cool reference in this one. So when Drax was trying to sit, remember, on the couch, he was trying to sleep or be lazy on the couch rather, and it's not like that's not good protocol when you're a guest. He's Quill said to him, "I can see you, Drax." That's a reference to Avengers Infinity War when remember Drax is trying to be invisible. You can see me? I picked that up the second time. I was like, oh, good reference point. I love that. So that was cool. But by the way, do you know the actress who voiced Lila?
No.
That was Linda I'm probably mispronouncing her last name. Linda Cardellini.
Oh.
She was in Avengers Endgame, Hawkeye's wife.
Yeah.
So keeping it in the MCU. Well, also too, I mean, you got the Michelle Yeoh. She plays Aletta O'Gord. That's Sylvester Stallone's wife in the second movie, although she wasn't in this film.
Yeah.
And she's also in Shang-Chi. So she plays two characters in the MCU. So, yeah, I guess it's not a big deal if you play two characters in the MCU. But what'd you think, really quickly, just veering off, even obviously staying on point, but veering off a little, what'd you think of, even though it was very small, just seeing the old crew back again with Sylvester Stallone, Stakar O'Gord, you got Michael Rosenbaum as Martin X, you got Krugar there. And then I believe the other one was Mainframe, voiced by Tara Strong this time, not Miley Cyrus. So what did you think of seeing that whole group again? Because we only got them in a post-credit scene.
So Miley Cyrus was...
In the post-credit scene of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, it was Miley Cyrus. And this one, it was Tara Strong, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Again, they weren't in the film very long, but it was just cool to see them again. I thought, and I love Krugar doing, the Sorcerer Supreme type of magic, like Doctor Strange and Wong and all that. But and then we didn't get Ving Rhames as Charlie 27 back. But again, I just thought cool seeing that whole group and that Gamora has encompassed this whole Ravager life. Basically, if that's where Star-Lord starts at the beginning of part 1.
Exactly. Like that to me was one of the strongest changes. And I kind of liked it. I appreciated that she didn't just go back to the way that she was, that original Gamora. Do you know what I mean? Like, I guess it would have, I thought I wanted it, but then when she left, I was okay with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate her telling Star-Lord, I think we really were, I believe we were good together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that scene got me choked up, actually.
I thought it was the best breakup scene.
And that was it was a breakup with a possible possibility of going out in the future. But
Right.
agreed with you. But I also think too that was another part of Peter Quill. That was another part of Peter Quill's arc where letting go. And a theme to this film as well. So there was a comment too.
The Fall of the 11th one.
Yeah.
If we could talk about Mantis making the guard fall in love with Drax. That was pretty funny.
Wait, what was the comment?
Right there. The Fall of the 11th. Can we talk about Mantis making the guard fall in love with Drax with the laughing emoji? Second to last.
Which part was that again?
That's when they were trying to break into that the location to get Rocket's memories.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What did you think?
What did I think about it? I thought it was hilarious. I think what was most funny to me was his. It kind of looked like this obviously isn't the first time that happened. This is obviously something that Mantis does to him all the time. And so he was just kind of like, okay. And like he just stood there. I thought it was hilarious too.
I loved all their interactions together. They are so Dave Bautista and Palm. How do you say her last name? Great.
Palm
Clementif.
Clementi.
Yeah, sorry if I mispronounced that, but she's real. I love the way she's grown into the role. You can tell she's so much more comfortable in that role as Mantis, and again, the way her character's been fleshed out since Guardians 2. I love her and Drax are some of my favorite interactions. Their comedy, the way it balances the rest of the tone of the film, it's golden. They're so good together, and you could. I'm not gonna lie too. I got choked up when Drax said, "I'll go with you" at the end, and then she's like, "No, I need to find my purpose." So like, such a beautiful scene. Beautiful.
I love that too because, especially given the conversation that she and Nebula had talking about Drax and talking about how he was like, "You think I'm stupid?" And she was like, "Yes," but then she made him forget it. You know what I mean? But I could tell that he really was. That was his best friend. You know what I mean? Like even though she didn't come in until the second film, like she was his
second best friend after Peter.
Oh right, second best friend. That's right, second best friend. I'm wrong because like when he said, because Peter was talking about Rocket being his first best friend.
Second best friend.
And then Drax was like second best friend.
Yeah, I love Dave, but again, another actor who's real, and again, he was phenomenal in the first movie, obviously, but
Yeah.
Dave Bautista has really grown a lot in this role and gotten even more comfortable. I kind of mentioned this the other day. I was off camera how I'm really glad that Jason Momoa, as much as I love him as Arthur Curry and also as Duncan in one of my favorite movies, Dune, I'm really glad Dave Bautista got the role. I say it. I'm really glad Dave Bautista got the role over Jason
Who
Momoa.
was it? Yeah, Jason. That's what
Yeah.
you told me, Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa.
And I think it would have been so.
He still would have
weird.
been good, but I think
I
Dave,
don't know.
Dave Bautista is just perfect.
Right.
All right, Arjun Sandhu, thank you so much for the super chat, dude. We really appreciate it. So 2 favorite scenes when Gamora takes the face off of the High Evolutionary. That was great. I mean, that RoboCop looking I should get credit for that. I said it looked like RoboCop in the first trailer we watched. But that was really creepy too. It got into felt like a horror. I mean, I haven't seen Slither. That's the first James Gunn film that came out. I know it's a really horrific film in terms of just like the gore and just how good it is. Slither,
Oh,
I believe it's
Slither.
called. Yeah. So
okay, I was gonna say
maybe
I was
James
like,
Gunn was getting back. I haven't seen it, but maybe James Gunn just getting back to his roots there. But I agree with you. That was a great scene, and it was creepy too. Like knowing that that's the face that's underneath that. So
Well, because I just kept thinking, like, why does his skin look like it's coming off? I was so glad at least they commented on that and like that happened because I was like, why does his face look different? Because in that scene when Rocket like really attacked him, I was like, okay, that he's just fine. Like he just didn't have any injuries.
yeah,
So then
no
to come back-
repercussions. Yeah, well, I'm
Exactly.
glad that they yeah. I mean, I knew from the trailer because I said it looked like RoboCop, so I knew. But you were smart to stay away. And then when he loses I'm talking about the High Revolutionary with his face looking High Evolutionary.
You said
Excuse me.
High Revolutionary.
Yeah, and then here, let me just finish this super chat. And then when he loses his cool at Rocket for knowing the formula, and then what Rocket does. Yeah, I think there's like 2 ways to go about that too. Like the High Evolutionary was like so like happy that Rocket has all this knowledge and that it worked, but on the flip side, like jealous in a way, like why does he know that but I don't know that? Like I'm the one who's supposed to know everything. Like so, but again, the actor's performance is so good. He was really menacing, just in his presence and all of his dialogue. again, you don't agree. I didn't agree with his motive, with what he was doing. I understood where he was coming from, just perfecting the world in his mind. But I love the line that Rocket said. It's like, you never want. There was, I can't remember the line, but it was like, the world was already not perfect, but it's just the way you want. I forgot what the line was, but you guys know which line I'm talking about. It was a great line from Rocket.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a line that Rocket said after they pulled his face off, saying like, you wanted to perfect the world. I forgot what the line was. Guys, if you remember the line, let us know.
Was it Rocket or was it Peter Quill?
It was Rocket, because
Okay.
Rocket has the history with him, so Peter's not going to be
Right.
able to say that line. But let us know in the comments what that line was that I'm flubbing up, because I
Right.
can't remember it for the life of me. It was a phenomenal line. But thank you again for the super chat. We
Thank
really
you so
appreciate it.
much. Let's see. Ahmed said he's never really liked this movie series and respect the taste of others, but hopes Marvel offers beautiful things.
No, that's again, it's
Totally
all it's
agree.
all subjective. Yeah, and-
Everybody has their
yeah,
own feelings. I
and-
didn't like the second one was not my favorite.
Oh, I'm
But-
gonna go into that in a sec, but continue.
Okay.
Continue.
No. I was just gonna say the second Guardians wasn't my favorite, but it did give us Mantis. I thought the whole Ego making babies around the galaxy was a little weird, but I appreciate that we know where Peter Quill came from. So yeah.
And that he's half celestial. But
Yeah.
in regards to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, every time I watch it, I enjoy it a little more. But there is one particular thing that has always bothered me, and I'm curious to see in the comments section.
Your
Hey,
question.
I'm gonna read that quote. I see
Yes.
it there. The Fall of the 11th. Dude, thank you so much. You've been all
Yes.
over this
Yep,
chat. You've
came
been
through.
awesome. Yeah. So there's a part, and again, if you guys disagree, I'd really love to hear this in the comments, because I don't mention this too much with other people, but there was one thing that personally bothered me in Volume 2. So Peter Quill had a decision to make about, joining his father or, helping or stopping the destruction of all life as we know it from Ego taking over everything. Now, James Gunn had a decision to make. Hey, I got to have Peter Quill. Like, he can't join his father. He's got to go against his dad. So what do I do here? Let me just go. Again, James Gunn, very talented. Don't want this to come off as he's not. But James Gunn, in my opinion, went the easy route. Just make Ego give Meredith the brain tumor, and that's going to be an easy decision for Peter Quill. Now I'm just going to kill my dad because he killed my mother. Easy decision. What I think, again, for me would have been the more interesting, more character-driven, the better decision would have been, hey, humans have brain tumors. That's just a thing we have. So Meredith...
I'm sorry, you want Peter to say it's okay that my mom is just dead?
No. Let me finish my point. So Meredith gets a brain tumor like normally, and Ego realizes, okay, now I don't have my love, my Meredith, so now I'm going to continue on with my mission. He kind of stopped doing what he was going to do, like Mandarin in Shang-Chi. He stopped with the 10 rings, all that for love. Same thing with Ego, okay? Now, basically what happens is Peter Quill's got a decision to make. Do I betray, or do I stop my father from doing this, or my father who I love, who I've been dying to meet my whole life? Do I join him and encompass and destroy everything around me? I think that would have been a little more of an interesting decision than, oh, you killed my mother, I want to kill you now. That's just my personal opinion, but I'd love to hear in the comments what you guys
Wait,
think.
What? I'm so confused. Okay, so you want him to decide whether or not he wants to join his dad, or whether or not he wants...
So
Okay,
he's
but-
got his two decisions are he's either got to join his father and destroy everything, or be a
Okay.
guardian of the galaxy and stop him. That's a tougher choice in my opinion. Then you
Yeah, but it's-
then you killed my mother. Here, let me stop you.
I don't know. It worked for Inigo Montoya. Sorry, I'm going back to Princess Bride. You,
You-
killed
you-
my
you
father. You
prepare
killed
to
my-
die. No, I mean
but-
that works for that, but I'm
but-
talking about this. I think it would have been more character driven with that, and that's in part two. But I still love that movie.
Right. Okay. So Fall of the 11th. Thank you for getting back to us. Also,
Yes.
Pearl Drafto got back to us with the quote, which is, "You didn't want to make things perfect. You just hated them the way they are."
Thank you. I love that. That's one of my
Yes.
favorite lines in the entire film, actually.
Totally
Thank you.
agree.
Was that
Yeah.
Fall of the 11th? Thank you.
And Pearl Drafto. They
Appreci-
both came through.
Appreciate both of you. Thank you
Yes.
for the save, because I was flubbing at that up
Oh,
badly.
Arjun Sandhu came through and said Nathan Fillion's cameo was
Yeah.
too good for what he takes up nowadays. For what he takes up nowadays.
Yeah, well, I mean, also I believe him and James Gunn have a relationship with each other.
Yeah.
So, and also I believe he was in the very first Guardians of the Galaxy, that CGI character that was kind of threatening to hurt Star-Lord in prison, and then Groot sticks his branches up, basically, or fingers up his nose and hurts him, and then Rocket says, "This is our booty. You want to go through him? You go through us, or more accurately, we go through you." Whatever the line was. So that was our other Nathan Fillion cameo in the first film. So it was nice to see him back as a human character, if you will. But yeah, I always loved Nathan Fillion.
Okay. You know what? Thank you, Fall the 11th, for clearing up what you were trying to say and what I didn't understand what you were trying to say. He said he thinks that you were saying that instead of making Ego evil by doing that to Peter's mother would have been more powerful to have his mother taken by something that isn't anyone's fault.
Well, yeah, that. And then again, the decision that Star-Lord has to make. Do I stop my father, which is a tough decision? Well, I mean, kind of an easy decision because he's about to destroy everything anyways. But again, it's just a little bit of a tougher choice than you killed my mother and now I'm going to stop you. That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay, go into the super chat.
Yes, so we have Vishal Vishu. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I think Andrew's making a good point. Peter has no conflict of interest in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And again, that's all I'm saying. It was an easy decision to make because he killed his mother. That's all I'm saying. And again, if you guys disagree with that, it's totally cool. I'm just saying for me, I would have personally thought that was a tougher choice for Star-Lord because he's been wanting to meet his father, and obviously he got that anyways in Yondu. He didn't realize he had that the whole time, and from just everything, Yondu's always been protecting him. But again, I just think that would have been a little more powerful, a little more story and character driven personally. That's all I'm saying.
Charmet saying they should have killed Drax or Mantis. That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought for sure we were going to lose one of the Guardians, one of the main Guardians. And I'm not going to lie, as much as I don't want to lose anyone, I was a little disappointed that someone didn't actually, die out of the team. Everybody just kind of went their own ways. I just thought it would have raised the stakes a little bit. So I agree with you.
I called Rocket and Drax, or one of the two. So in terms of should it have happened, I still love the way the movie was constructed and how it was executed. So again, if it was done in a satisfactory way, like a hero's death,
almost got me with Peter. Because
the
fact that Peter went back because Rocket wanted to save. Didn't he go back? No, he went back for the tape. He went back for the tape. So they give it to Rocket.
Yeah.
So he went back for that. And when he almost died, that almost got me. Because I was like, wait, they're going to kill Star-Lord? I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
But then they saved him.
Yeah, and then Pearl Draft Zero, he said he wouldn't betray the Guardians. Going back to my point and what I was talking about in Volume 2, of course he's not going to betray the Guardians. I'm just saying it just makes it a tougher decision when he has not killed his mother, when it's just, hey, do I join my father or stop my father? It's just a tougher decision. Like, for instance, if Luke Skywalker, even though it's a simple decision for him in terms of Empire, he doesn't know it's his father, so he's not conflicted. But let's just say that Darth Vader murdered Padme Amidala. Probably Luke still would have been conflicted, but that's a little bit of an easier decision, I feel like. Again, bad analogy and example, but you guys get where I'm coming from here.
Wait. I guess I'm the only one who doesn't. So wait, okay. I know we're like totally jumping the galaxy here into Star Wars, but are you saying that you appreciate that Anakin wasn't responsible for Padme's death? Is that what you're saying?
In essence, he was, but yes, I am saying that.
He was, and her heart, she died of a broken heart.
Yes, he was, but he was responsible, but he didn't directly do what Ego did. He didn't he didn't take a lightsaber and, he choked her in the Force, but she died of broken heart, which because he had so much fear of her dying, so that he did what he did. So, I get it, of course.
But, and then let's go back to Guardians.
Charmit Singh, they marketed that way. Oh, for sure they did. In all the marketing, we were like, it's either Star-Lord, it's either Rocket, it's Drax. Yeah, exactly. So I agree with you. Lil Mill, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say Lil Mill, same time as Real Rejects. Who are those guys? I've never heard of them before. I'll have to try and get on that channel one day. Have you heard of them?
I don't know. Who is that guy? One of them.
Greg and John. They're the best. We love those guys. Kaizi Cinema. I actually thought keeping them all alive was more risky. What do you think about that?
I agree. I guess I agree. For me, I thought it was a little bit strange that they're like, this is the last one, but Star-Lord will return at the end.
The legendary Star-Lord will return. The legendary
Star-Lord. But I can see that. I can see that it would be a little bit more risky, given the fact that now that they're all alive still,
Fair
maybe
enough.
maybe the team will have to get back together to save another one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's again, it's so hard to see this working without James Gunn. And again, my prime example for like, again, you got if all the actors come back, and I'm gonna
probably in an Avengers.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I mean that's what I see
yeah.
Star-Lord returning to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see it no matter what.
Because now he's on Earth.
I'm gonna see it no matter what. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see the movie no matter what. But I kind of go back to like again that this is his baby. He created this and he's been watching it all the way through. Like I just don't know if it works without him. A beautiful example I can give, or what's turned into not a beautiful example anymore, the Terminator franchise. Yes, they've gotten Arnold back for all of them except for the fourth one, Terminator Salvation, where they just used a CGI mock-up of him in one scene. But the MVP of that series, as much as Arnold's my favorite actor, everyone knows that, James Cameron's the MVP of that series. And without him, after the first two films, that series has just declined and declined and declined and declined. So, again, I'm still going to see whatever they come up with, whether it's a TV series, as you were kind of mentioning, or someone else was alluding to. I think that'd be great with the new group. But I would love to see... I would love to see... if James Gunn's not coming back, but I don't know. It's gonna be tough to continue the series without him. Is all I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I see we have another super chat. Thank you
Yes.
so much again, Vishal Vishu. Thank you, really appreciate it. Personally, I am happy that no one got killed. I mean, again, I agree with you. The way it was executed, because again, in my mind, and I'm sure in many of your minds, we all thought that someone was gonna die or a couple were gonna die. But the way it was executed, the way it was done, the way the story was told, the way the characters were fleshed out, the arcs that were told, I'm fine with what happened. I thought it was, for the most part, other than a little bit of Warlock, I thought the film was pretty much, it might be my favorite of the three.
I totally agree. I am happy no one died. Like I said, I didn't want anybody to die. I went in prepared to lose someone. And then when they teased us a couple of times that these people might die, then I was like ready for it. But when it ended, I'm okay with everybody surviving. I don't ever want to lose anybody on the team. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I'm still mad Captain America jumped ship and went to his own secret future.
Oh.
But let me tell you.
Passed.
Well, okay, pass. But he created
Yeah,
his own timeline.
yeah,
Anyways,
of
we're not
course,
going to get
of
into
course,
that.
of course.
But here's my question that I want to know what the chat thinks. Is anybody else concerned that Gamora was not a target of the TVA? Why was Gamora not a target of the TVA? They came for Loki. All he did was jump through the space and landed right on their turf. They just pulled him right out of the air. How come Gamora's just roaming the earth like no problem?
That's a fair point. Let us know in the comments section. What do you think about Courtney's point there? Let us know. And seriously, I want to actually know
I
what
really
you
just
guys.
wanted Loki.
Yeah.
Somebody from the TVA.
You made a really good point in our non-spoiler review, just going a little off course here, talking about Nebula. You mentioned that Nebula has had a very similar story structure and arc, very similar to Loki, where they start off as bad villains, if you will, and then they've grown and grown, and obviously they're relative to one of the more main characters, and just turned more to the good side. And again, they're more of more complicated characters. But I really love what they've done with Nebula, and we kind of talked about that a little earlier. But
totally
I just wanted to go off your point there. That was a great point you made on our non-spoiler review, because she's definitely one of the top comments.
Thank you.
Characters.
Is it Malikia Samuel?
Plot
Thank you.
armor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What did they say? Actually, wait. Arjun Sandu actually wanted Drax to say goodbye. Yeah, because somebody else said that they thought Drax was gonna die. Plot armor. Is that what you?
Yeah, from Jimmy Burris. Yeah, plot armor. Of course, that always saves the day. It might be a plot hole from Daddy Senpai. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I remember Courtney. That was the first thing you said before the movie started, too, about the whole TVA with Gamora and all that.
So the Fall of the 11th said, according to the TVA, when they spoke to Loki, they said everyone involved with the Avengers Endgame incident was meant to be there, and it was meant to happen. The only one who wasn't was Loki. Boo. I agree. Thank you for sharing that, because I do remember that happening, but when they said it, I still didn't accept it. I'm like, why not Loki? If that was meant to happen. Anyways, okay, so I guess it wasn't meant to happen that Tony Stark would get knocked out by the Hulk, and
I guess Doctor
Yeah.
Strange saw that was going to happen, and then they would go back to the 70s or whatever decade they went, 60s or 70s, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So maybe Doctor Strange saw that in his 14 million and 5 possibilities. So, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So, the Watcher said Nebula was an MVP. Totally agree. Go ahead.
Nebula. I mean, what is it? Karen Gilliam? Is that Gillian?
Mm-hmm.
How do you say it?
Karen
Gillian.
Mm-hmm.
She's fantastic. She's really grown as an actress. Fantastic. Oh, right. We got another super chat. Vishal Vishu. Thank you so much again. Really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Gamora is a part of Endgame, according to TVA. To all the people that participated in Endgame are supposed to happen. Well, we kind of just talked about that, right?
Yeah, but no, like you're spot on. Like I appreciate everybody like bringing that back because I completely forgot about that section. And I hear you. Thank you for sharing that. You're making me feel better because I have never been okay with that. So thank you for sharing your like thoughts.
Really? Yeah.
Me.
Are there any other scenes that you want to talk about in regards to the film, like any action sequences? Are there any dramatic moments that happen?
My favorite action moment was the battle when they were trying to get the information for Rocket, like in the High Evolutionaries.
Oh yes,
like,
yeah.
That eye.
Yes, I know which scene you're talking about. I think what's her name, Jennifer Holland, James Gunn's wife, was somewhere in that scene. Yes. Yeah, no, that was a really good one. I saw a comment too. I'm so sorry. Let me see who it was because I don't want to forget who you were. That said something about the High Evolutionary being one of the best MCU villains. Oh, here it is from. Can you read that out? Because that's hard for me to see.
I said
from
Malikius.
Malikius Samuel.
So I apologize if I said it wrong, but
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the High Evolutionary? Because he might be one of my favorite MCU villains just for how vile and despicable he was.
Ooh.
Courtney, what do you think?
For how vile and despicable he was. I think that given everything that he did to the animals and the creatures, I think in terms of like who was the just darkest, probably him. Yes, I would agree. Because like Thanos totally believed his cause. You know what I mean? He was doing what he thought was best for the galaxy. He wasn't doing it because he considered himself malicious. He really thought that that's what best. So I agree. Yes. High Evolutionary torturing little animals and then just violently destroying an entire like Earth 2 or whatever he called it.
Yeah.
What did he call it?
I believe it was it not Earth?
I don't think it was Earth 2.
I forgot the name of it. Yeah.
But he destroyed that entire planet and those people had like kids and just they had a whole society. So yes, I agree. Someone else, I think it was the Watcher, wanted to know our thoughts on Iron Man versus Nebula. Which one had the best character
Well,
arc?
see, that's a great question, but I'm gonna do you one better. Who really won that game? The flicking game, you know. I was actually watching Endgame earlier today. You know when they were playing
when
I used to
Iron Man
play.
and Nebula?
Yeah, I used to play that game. I love those scenes with them together. That's a great question. Who has a better arc? Tony's arc is pretty damn. It's pretty damn good.
I mean, it's been over the course of like what 10 films.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
definitely
I would
Iron
say
Man.
they're both. Yeah, they're both good. I mean,
Counter-Earth.
I gotta go with
Thank
the shirt
you.
I'm wearing. But
Baba-
that was
Baba
a great question. The Watcher, great question.
Baba, I'm trying to find it. Can you read that? Baba.
This one.
Yes, Counter Earth.
Counter Earth, Baba Saheb Gul.
Thank you.
So sorry if I mispronounced.
Sorry,
My bad.
I don't have my contacts in, so
I have my bad
cannot
glasses
see
in.
it, so I apologize.
There
But
was
thank you for helping me out.
Yeah, there was a comment here from Beakwood, aka Adri Galas. Again, so sorry if I mispronounced. I don't get these people complaining about Adam. It's like they wanted a Superman-like character out of nowhere. Hey, that absolutely fair point that you're making. Again, my whole thing was I liked Will Poulter's performance as Adam, getting the visuals and all that and the effects and everything. I thought he was used well. And again, I did actually like the arc we ended up getting, although I'll go into mine in a second again. I did like, the whole second chances and when he saw that the Guardians saved him, or Groot in particular, and hey, now I'm going to start working with them. That was fine. That still worked. And I get it. He's an OP character, so we got to be very careful with how much we limit that character. Totally get that from James Gunn's point of view. Mm-hmm. Again, my whole thing was after Aisha was killed, I just wanted to see, and again, I know he wasn't human. He was, but I still think that would have been personally a little better if he would have just had some emotion there after she died, and that's what got him into helping out the Guardians. I just think for me that would have made it better, but I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah, he learned what it meant to be a part of a team and to see, like, even if like maybe they're mad about something that someone did, because they still went for Gamora, even though it's different Gamora than they're familiar with, or that Peter is. Nebula knew her, obviously, because that's her sister. But yes, I think that I liked Adam Warlock's what he brought to the story.
And
let's
then
see.
Arjun Sandhu says, I completely agree with Andrew here. Well, Arjun, I completely agree with you, completely agreeing with me. So we're on the same page here. Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
A big head.
Yeah.
No. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Yeah, it's already big enough. How am I can't fit my big head in this helmet here, this Iron Man helmet.
I'm totally playing with you. Let's see.
We'll answer a few
Hater
more.
98. What do we think about the CGI?
For the most part, the CGI was really good. There was one specific shot, both times, that was a little noticeable for me. And again, let me know if you guys think I'm wrong. But it was or just that you disagree, rather. It was the shot of, I believe it was Adam Warlock at the beginning where he was attacking Rocket when they were in nowhere. I forgot who he was holding on to. It might have been Nebula. I forgot who it was, but there was a shot where I was like, this is very noticeable CGI. Aside from that, for the most part, I thought the CGI was really good for the most part in this film. Because I know in the MCU, there's especially Thor: Love and Thunder and a couple other films. So, but yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll read off a couple more questions and we'll just lay off our final thoughts here. And we'll wrap it up for you guys. But really quick, what did you think of the CGI?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I know that a lot of people had complaints in terms of like Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I didn't think that this movie suffered those same problems. So I enjoyed the movie as a whole. So CGI included.
Yeah, fair deal. Oh, really quick. Jimmy Burress, sorry if I mispronounced that. Can we give Groot some credit? He's the reason technically Quill survived. I mean, yeah, no, I mean, because he saved Adam, who then saved, so it was like a kind of a link effect there. So no, I thought Groot was really. I love Groot in this movie. I mean, I love Groot every time, but yeah.
I loved how he's grown each and every film.
Literally and metaphorically.
Literally and metaphorically. From the first one, we had like OG Groot, and then in the second one, we had Baby Groot, and then also in Infinity War, and then he came back at Endgame. So yeah, I definitely think Groot has always been an MVP for me. And
that line too, as Jimmy also pointed out, just saying where I love you guys from Groot, like actually hearing him say English dialogue.
But then that made me a little bit mad. I was like, yo, bro, you could speak this whole time, or did you just learn?
I don't think he could speak though. I think that was just in the moment. I've just kind of processed this dialogue that I don't understand, but I know what that means.
What did you think about Gamora not being able to understand Groot, and yet then she started to figure it out as the course of the movie went on?
I mean, but that's just par for that.
I respect that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I had no problem with that. That's a Star Wars thing. That's a Guardians of the Galaxy thing.
What?
And Star Wars. Well, when hearing Chewbacca, and then at some point you just understand his language. Like Luke didn't understand it in the first film, but by the second film he could understand Chewbacca a little bit better.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of like this being a new Gamora, like the first Gamora originally. And please let me know. I thought that she automatically picked up on what Groot was saying. So for this Gamora to like really kind of go from like, she had a great arc, I would say. Like she started off, when we saw her, she was a Ravager. Then she joined the team just for that one mission and didn't want to be there. And then all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but when they came for Rocket and she was the only one on the ship, I totally respected that. All of her questions and concerns, like, we're really doing this for what she called a rodent, not understanding who Rocket was to the team and who Rocket was to her, because she just doesn't remember that.
Yeah.
But I appreciated her arc and where she went to.
Absolutely, that's a very good point. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying I love this movie. Again, maybe over time it's gonna cement itself as my favorite, or it's pretty damn close with one. It's right. It's like right there. As a whole, though, the trilogy, again, I'm not saying it's the best trilogy in the MCU. It's right there with Captain America for me. So I just thought what James Gunn did, and again, I'm really sad we're losing him in the MCU, but also on the flip side, I'm glad we're getting him in the DCU, so hopefully he can do some good there. But yeah, I think what James Gunn did with this trilogy as a whole is phenomenal. Really amazing job. Just the characters, the storyline, the visuals, the music, whether it comes from John Murphy or Tyler Bates, the actual soundtrack music, and all the characters' interactions.
You call him the Hedgehog.
Yes, correct. But I love this movie so much more than, I mean, I knew I was gonna like it, but I didn't expect to love it on this level like I did with the first two, especially even the first one itself. But very, very impressed. Again, James Gunn hit another homer in my opinion.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I went in with a heavy heart thinking that, I was going to be sad at the end, but I think I got exactly what I needed. So I love that James Gunn has been, the director for all three of these films and really brought us this team that everybody thought was going to flop. All the critics, everybody thought that this was going to be the first franchise of Marvel to really flop. And he proved them all wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm sad to see this version of Guardians that we know is closing out, but I'm excited to see what's next.
Absolutely.
And looking forward to James Gunn saving the DCU because they need help.
That's a tall task, but if anyone can do it, I guess James Gunn is the guy to do it. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate all your chats, all your super chats, of course. Really much appreciated. If you ever want us to do another live stream like this, let us know in the comments of this video. And again, what'd you think of this film? Was it your favorite Guardians? What's your particular order in the rankings? Did you have issue with this film? What were some of the issues? We'd love to hear all your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and smash the like button so you can let YouTube know that you are enjoying what you are watching. I'm Andrew Flash Gordon, and this is
Courtney Scott Wright.
We love you guys.
Bye. Thank you so much.